Okay. Thank you very much for having me. I think you can hear me now.
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay.
You have the floor.
Yes. I want to welcome everyone who is participating in this program. It's a very good one. And then, even though today I've been speaking in 2 programs already today, and I'm speaking in the next 2 after this. So, but I will try as much as possible to bring out the kind of keynote that is needed in this place. When I heard innovation, and thanks to Temi Olua for doing a good job as the MC, and Dr. Tunji, I met him in a recent program when I was in Nigeria. It's nice to see you again, and kicking very well. With all the problems happening in the world, we actually need innovation. I heard the World Bank chief said it will take 15 years for Nigeria to recover. And people like us, when you hear that kind of thing, you know it's not good news. But the truth is that we can actually come out from anything in 2 years or even less. The whole keynote is on innovation. If our people understand the power of innovation, we will not be where we are. And policies has to be right. You don't do experiments where you do policies. You have to make sure that the policies are people-oriented policies. There are always so many things. I was speaking with my aunt in Geneva because we are running air and trade for the World Trade Organization, in Geneva. And then she keeps saying that when you have consequent governments, when they change, there should be a consistency. That is what happens in UK, happens in Sweden. A consistency. It doesn't matter who is there. When I laughed when the World Bank chief said 15 years, and I said, even if Tinubu wants to be the president, he can't be there for 15 years. And the problem with us is after, even if he manages to come back second term, that is 4 + 4, 8 years. Immediately it drops out from 8 years or after 8 years. Another person we normally call a pharaoh that knows Joseph will come again and bring his own rule and scatter what has already started well. So, so 15 years will turn into 30 years again and all that. But the secret is on innovation. Now, for us that are here today, I want to drop some things on implementing AI for marketing excellence and impact, but much more looking at transforming marketing through artificial intelligence. Now, we that are here, I started working on 2nd generation artificial intelligence since 2019 when I was in China as a professor. So we started looking at 2nd generation, and then I was part of the people we projected that in 2030 China will be fully, implementing 2nd generation artificial intelligence. Now, the thing is, what is going on with the developing countries is that some of the developing countries are still in the initial, the 1st generation, and then jumping into 2nd generation. You can imagine what it is when you are in primary 3, and suddenly they say, come and take GCE, come and take what do you call it, another exam that will take you to the secondary school. So you see, you miss the basics. And if you miss the basic, you lose the test. That is exactly what is happening. So that is why we are moving with OAU and all of them. We are moving with incorporating into the academic structure. Now, if you see the SMEs that most of you we are speaking to today, you see the industries, you see the academics, you see there is a kind of separation. The industries are doing something else, the academics are doing something else. There's no balance. Now, what we have here in UK is that we work together with the industries. We get funding together with the industries, and then we move together with the industries. And the industries bring their what they cannot do. And then the research looks at it and will suggest, the parastasis, like the Northwest Ambulance Service when they came, and then they said, Celestine, we're going to give you 1.5 million data sets. So I was like, okay, that is good. What do we need? They said over 90% of people who calls ambulance don't really need ambulance. So husband and wife will be quarreling. They just say, oh, call ambulance. And the other person will be quarreling, call ambulance. And ambulance will come. They discover it's not a serious case. So instead of them putting more energy in the place where it is actually needed, they are now running up and down, blowing siren, disturbing the traffic to come to people who are just having minor quarrel. And then the ambulance will check and say, oh, this person is actually not serious. So we're working on a research where from your voice, using NLP, natural language processing, we can detect, whether you actually need this ambulance. So that is on that area in terms of application of AI. Now, one of the areas of application is what we're actually discussing today, transforming marketing through AI. So now I don't want to go through my profile that is already being read, So now in marketing, I was called to London last 2 weeks, went down because the university is thinking of having AI do most of the work in terms of the seat analysis, the structure. When you have like 20,000, 20,000 people who ask about your university, who ask about that, and then you end up recruiting only 1,000. And then out of that 20,000, remember, when people are applying to the university, they're also applying to other universities, not just only one. So what we have is at the end of the day, we have a system where people are just running down the universities, trying to look at which one is actually better to what they are doing. Let me come back again. Okay. Just a minute. I think I have my water poured down. Most of the time, we always prefer when you are speaking live than, yes, okay. Okay, I think we're back. All right, so let's get back again. Now, definition, overview of AI and marketing. Now, like I said, you have a business. You want people to come down to what you are doing. How do you do it? If you look at the crowd, like I mentioned, going down to London, and then we discovered, hey, we need AI. You need to reduce cost. Most of the softwares that are being used are very expensive. And then every time new thing comes out, people, sometimes they give you at very cheap rate. But at the end of the day, what we discover is that, when you are about to renew those systems, you are now asked to pay more for those systems. So what do you do when you are paying more? What do you need to do to your system? So it now comes up again into artificial intelligence. Now, what is artificial intelligence? Because like I said, it is easy to say, oh, AI can do this, AI can do that. Now, one thing you hear from me today is that AI is not creative. It's not creative. It is you that is creative. It's more like garbage in, garbage out. What you put in is what comes out. So when people come in, they're like, okay, we're expecting magic from AI. No, even from ChatGPT, for some of you use ChatGPT, it is what goes in that comes out. Sometimes it can be wrong information. Part of the thing I said, if AI falls into wrong hand, we end up having a very bad system. So that is what it comes up to be. But then, so AI is having machine do what natural intelligence cannot do. Simple. It looks at the past, the present, and the future. So, and that is why we bring it, allowing machine to do much more than humans cannot do. It's very simple definition. Using machine, speaking to the machine, training the machine to understand your pattern, training the machine to understand how you actually do things, and then allowing it to study you. When it studies you, it begins to release information about you. So it makes things easy. I always do a very particular training when I talk to my students in terms of AI. Then I tell my students, I say, now I'm going to give you something, I'm going to give you something, and then I'll tell them, okay, I'll tell you something, pass it on to the other person, pass it on to the other person. By the time they finish, I could tell someone in the beginning, I say, oh, I'm Indian and I love eating rice. He ends up into, oh, he's a citizen of Nigeria. Rice, he hates rice. Information. So humans cannot, we cannot be certain. We are prone to mistakes. We are prone to error. Are the machines not prone to error? The machines are prone to the error that we give it in. So if the information I'm passing to machine means, oh, it's black and it's a criminal, it's black and it's a criminal, what AI will produce at the end of the day is that, oh, all blacks are criminals. That is how it is. So it's what goes in more like the input and what comes out in the output. So, but in marketing, how do you use it to let people know what you are doing? How like the university system, like, small scale business, how do you use AI? Now, apart from what Dr. Tuji was saying, in terms of cost effectiveness, very important. That is one of the big areas. And of course, some people will say, oh, don't use AI because we are going to lose our job. So I always say, AI will take the job of those who don't know AI. Take note of that. If you know AI, your job will still remain. And AI is in every career, every profession, every SME, every parastasis. Once you understand that is AI is in every of this. We started running a program in Bolton here, Masters in Research with Artificial Intelligence. And then people are like, oh, do you need a computer knowledge? I said, no. If you can be a psychologist and still come here. I have lawyers, but I recruited one lawyer who is, AI and law. And in March, we'll be in OAU, teaching them AI and law. A whole massive model was developed. I developed that model, and we are going to break down. Because I spoke in Indonesia 2 years ago, and I said, any lawyer that does not know AI cannot win the case in the next 5 years. So AI is so much important in marketing. That is what I want to break down here. It's already there. We're already seeing what AI can do in other places. But let me just give you on that, So the objective of this presentation is to give you insight, a kind of bring you into exploration of mindset to what you can do with AI and others. Now, statistics and trend, AI is being adopted everywhere. Yesterday,
She get another one. She got another one.
Yesterday, I was speaking. I got a contact with KLM because we went to Geneva. I paid the flight, and then they were supposed to return my money and all that. And then I was talking with someone. He said, no. Can you call this number? And then I called them. They said, oh, no, speak with your bank. And I'm like, okay. And then apparently they say, go down to your app. When immediately they mentioned, go down to your app, I knew quite well they were sending me to chatbots, So, and then I was like, I don't want to speak to AI. I want to speak to a real person, So they said, no, just follow it, just follow it. So, they thought they were talking to a novice, in this kind of business. So at the end, so I just wanted to see what the chatbots could do. So I will give it information. It was asking subsequent question. It will ask one, because that's how it was programmed. It will ask two. So I said, oh, this is what happened. They are using it to cut, to reduce stress, to push you more. So imagine you don't know, you just be given the information. Yes, no, yes, I did this, and then at the end, it still takes you back. You say, okay, you'll be contacted in 4 or 5 working days. So I know quite well these guys have used chatbots on me yesterday, So Now, but it has saved them the cost of someone talking to me and all that. So a whole lot of companies are using chatbots, in marketing, in terms of interacting with customers, in terms of marketing what you want to do. In other words, showing your brand, and whatever, is very simple. You can say, you can be the best intelligent person, the best idea in SME, and you are not anywhere. Why? Because you are not, there's no consistent advert. I see what happens in some, in some Nigerian celebrities recently. Then you hear someone will just create a problem. He will just go and say something so that he wants to be on the news. And then, Bobrisky did something, the other one did something. These are they are creating market for people who will sit down in your house and you're using it to, like, you become what do you call it? Internet in-laws. Yes, he did not do. He did not do. No wonder the vice president has made a deal with Sweden to bring 5G, because they discovered Nigerians spend billions on the internet. Now, for you that have is an SME, you now know that there is so much money going on. The people are sitting down in their house, and of course, it's everywhere in the world after the COVID. Even during the COVID, everybody sat down. We developed a program in GREAT. We call it GREAT Project. With games. And then we discover that most of the games industry had a boom during the COVID, because people can sit down. Up till now, some people, you can see, elderly people can sit down and be playing games right with their mobile. So we started creating a kind of a policy, a project where we can pass on information. We can pass on specific information using those games. That is exactly what goes on. So you use what is going on. We are now in the generation of AI. How can I use AI in marketing such way that as people are clicking Bobrisky, clicking Davido is singing, can my own business be in such a way that people can also click and get information about what you do? So, like I said, major industries are already there, but the good thing is we are using it to enhance customer experience. Personalized marketing and customer journey mapping, very important. This is one of the areas. You need to have, like I said yesterday, I was chatting with the bank, using chatbots, using, AI to get what, every other thing going on in that bank, trying to make sure they pay me my money. That is it. So in your own business, what if you create, if you want people to have consistent talk, and then imagine if you are a technological company, for example, where you are going to be building, developing things, you won't have that time to, like, every time, be on the internet and chatting with people. So I could do what? I could understand the steps. That is exactly idea first I gave them in London. I said, what you need to do is what is the step for you to interact with your customer? Map out those steps. If those steps are there, then we can use AI. We can do an automation using AI to automate it, saying the same thing. So if I ask, remember, AI does not work without data. So first, I need to have a whole lot of information about your business, a whole lot of information about what you do stored in the system. Then I need to have step-by-step of how your business function. Now see what happened. When I asked the question, I told he said, oh, I am Aman. I know it's not Aman. I know it's an AI. Then I said, read my messages. His head got confused. So I wanted to confuse the AI. When you meet AI and AI, human AI and computer AI. So I confused the AI, and the thing clocked and then restarted by itself yesterday. So I was just smiling because I know there's a way you can make a bridge. And I said, read my message, because I know he was just giving me step by step of what he has been programmed to do. He did not give me, so he started afresh. Yes, I am a man. He now started afresh. So I knew it was very easy for me to know. But the good thing is, it's still a communication channel. Imagine now you have 15,000 people calling you at that same time, and you are the only one on the board, in telephone, taking calls. You can't reach everybody. But now I've been able to reach that, and then also saving me cost of me calling and spending 2 hours on the telephone line just waiting to be answered, by someone who I may not even meet up with my needs. So, but with that AI, he has already given me that information. I say, hey, don't worry, your information is there. And then I got an email that, okay, in 4 or 5 days, they will answer me. So it saved me my own time instead of spending my precious time listening to, talking to someone who will not deliver what I want to do. So it's personalized marketing. You can actually use it to personalize your marketing, customer journey mapping, and then of course, just like Dr. Tunji said, predictive analytics for targeted campaigns. That means I could campaign, Facebook is already using it, where they will, all your communications and everything, will tell you do market target. Okay, you live in Lagos, anything going through that place will just be to Lagos area and all that. So you can use that in your business. This is more like benefits of AI in marketing. Apart from operational or efficiency, which we talk about automation of repetitive tasks, this is massive. A situation where you have to look at 20,000 requests, as your business keeps growing. As it keeps growing, what do? You automate your repetitive tasks. And then you automate them, it becomes easier. Now, take note, there is still someone, what we call Industry 5.0, that has to do with us bringing, still having humans, especially in testing. If you know what recently happened, in US, where testing people were not, and then the whole system went down, and many countries in the banking sector almost collapsed again. So we're not saying totally remove human, but we are saying you can do a whole lot of job by reducing the what human can do in terms of automation, which will also bring cost-saving opportunities. Very, very important. Now, imagine your business is just starting up. It's just a starter. Yes, you are just, you are trying to still pay yourself and pay few workers working with you. By the time you have that kind of process, it saves you a whole lot. Now people, you can put that, you can see now some email, some websites, once you put it, you see the chatbot just comes out. So you can also have that your website can also have, at least the basic questions about your company, about, where do you live? And it also helps you to save the data of those people. You keep the data because you need them. You need anyone who comes to your website, you need to know, not really taking care of their IP address and all that, because some people can have the IP address blocked. But I'm talking about people still voluntarily, by asking questions, putting their email, helping you to store contacts, future contact, business contacts that you will use later and become your marketing team. So when you now want to send an email, you just send a general email or a targeted email, and then you can see your business. Because like I keep saying, the more people you know, the more the channel of blessings, the more the channel of your business expansion, the more the channel of miracles. As you keep going in that way, it helps you. Now, apart from data-driven decision-making, because you need data, so you're getting the data, you're getting the information, much more of what we call in academics, primary data set. We get data set from people, and then we use them to work. Secondary data set is what others have already collected. Now, when I spoke last in Nigeria, I said, one of the problems we have is data bank. Our data set trusted? Do we have data bank? Do we have data area where we can put in cloud to save data set? If we go on as a company, as an individual, to have massive data set storage, then it could help a whole lot in artificial intelligence. So for me, I will advise the company also, kind of that, let's invest more in where our data are saved and stored. Now, we have real-time analytics, because it's only when we have them, we are no longer dealing with historic data. We'll now begin to deal with real-time analytics and insight, and that is very powerful. So AI ability to process large data sets quickly, this is very massive. What you cannot do, AI can do it quite early and on time, and costs less. And, saves the headache of staying and waiting for the results. Now look at the marketing tools. Like I mentioned, chatbots for customer service. They already, a whole lot is using Drift, Intercom. You have content generation tools like Jasper, Copy.ai. You can also use those this for your content generation. You just put some important information. Remember I said, AI is not creative. It is you that is creative. So whatever I'm going to put in all these places is, what do I want? Oh, I want markets. I want people who are selling based on what I'm selling, based on what I'm producing, based on my results, based on the people I want to target. If people is on record that people who buys my product live in Lagos, then I have to target Lagos more. It's not that you can't target other places. No, but you first get to a situation where you have more of Lagos than talking about more of Anambra, for example. You have people more in London than more, you see. That is why somebody was asking me, why is the airline expensive in Africa? I say, yeah, because people don't travel much. Even though they try to say, but look at it. The other ones, they could even give you even free ticket. They travel a very long distance for very short money, for very low cost, So if you look at that, so the airline invested more into where, the tax is small, opportunities are more, and so many things come, and people going for holidays. It's normal to always be on holidays, So content generation tools, very important, like Jasper, Copy.ai, predictive analytics platform like Salesforce is still, these are predictive, where you can predict what is going to happen, predict, okay, if 10 people bought my goods, what is the possibility that those 10 who bought my goods are from Lagos? What is the predict? What will I use to predict to increase, either increase my stock or reduce my stock? So these are all the things that we use AI tools for marketing excellence. Pragmatic ad buying. This is another one, using Google ad. We already know that most of us use Google ad in either in YouTube and other things. When you put it in your website, it gives you some money. People come in there and advertise, and then you get some money there. So it's quite there. What AI tools for marketing excellence. Social media monitoring and sentiment analysis tools is also there. How do people relate to my business? How do they relate? Do they like me when they see? Do they click it? How many clicks it? How many? These are all the things you can do with AI. Yeah. Who like my tool? Who like what I'm selling? How? So using social media, is another area for where AI is used for marketing tools. Now, we see the segmentation and personalization, how AI segment audiences. For instance, AI algorithm for identify audience pattern. Now, we need this pattern. You need to know how the market is. You need to know who buys more. You need to know where it is possible to increase yourself. You need to, what do people actually want? Now, we're having a kind of a problem all around. So where will people invest more? Will they invest more in food, or will they invest more in electronics? So, there are a whole lot of pattern. Based on the pattern, you can now know, based on what I do, where will I be able to send this market into? So this is very important. So use cases of dynamic customer segmentation, we have so many of them, where you channel, your businesses to these areas. And then, of course, personalized content at scale based on AI insight. Very, very important. When I know the people that I can personalize my ad to a particular way, that is what AI can do in customer segmentation and personalization. Then content creation, like I said, and optimization, you can automate content creation, you can automate your text, you can automate your video graphics. Now the thing is this, I personally, I use the other day I used InVideo, to design something, and then they say, oh, Celeste, you have to pay 60 pounds. And then what I did, I just came back, wrote my own code. I wrote my own code. I started doing my own video myself. So, but what I'm saying, these things are all there. You're from text and video, because you want to be the secret of marketing is being consistent. That is that word, consistency. Consistency of adverts, consistency, and then you may start very well, and then you don't have that consistency. So AI will allow you, okay, you have done this before, you have done that before. I could just put the video in ChatGPT and say, hey, I want you to give me, based on this video, based on this text, based on this graphic, can you reproduce to me how many of the, how 10 times advert that I can automate? And ChatGPT 4.0 will give me that. Then I can put it up and then use another AI to say, okay, can you make videos about this? And then then what happened is that it's always there. When you go to my website, something is happening. Something is happening. That is consistency. That is what drive. What drive. You know, even in YouTube, they'll tell you, you know, I mean, if you don't post 4 times or 5 times, in Facebook, they'll say, how many times are you posting for you to get money? So some of us will think, you know, oh, let me go and advertise in Daily Times or what do you call that? Guardian, you know, and then you pay 500,000 and then people just read the papers and throw them somewhere. So you use the online mechanism that you have to reach out to a whole lot of people. So AI can assist your content curation and recommendation. It can also recommend to you what business you need to buy as an individual, what things you need to invest. My boy that is 18 now, he started investing in shares. He knows what shares is going down, what stock is going down, which one is going on. So I've been able to teach him how to use that for his own marketing business. So he makes some money and then he buys, he sells, he buys, he sells. And I'm like, okay. So he gets a whole lot of recommendation just using AI. Now, apart from SEO optimization through AI keyword, suggestion metadata, you know, in terms of sequences, how things are working, and how you actually need to develop more. Content creation is one of the key that AI can help you as an SME, and you need it in so very much. Now we can also automate our marketing, you know, email marketing with AI, personalized treatment, replying emails. You can have them that once people come based on what they have asked, you can program it in such a way that your AI will be replying those emails. You know, AI, especially those who are asking, oh, how many universities? Oh, you know, if I'm going to apply here, what do I need to do? You know, those informations are already there. But sometimes people have a difficulty to see those adverts. I mean, to see those information. So when they write you automate, you know, your work, and then it replies them immediately. You know, so we can use AI also for lead scoring and nurturing, cross-channel campaign management with AI, massive, you know. And then look at case study 1, for example, personalization, real world example, overview of a company that uses AI for personalization marketing. You know, let's look at, like I've mentioned now, let's look at the academic sector, like I've mentioned. Key strategies: we want to bring in increased customer retention. We want to bring in customer retention, student retention, student recruitment, student personalization. These are the areas we are looking at. In the same way, it happens even if you have your SME. You are looking at not just getting people, you need their data, so you need to keep them. You know, and by keeping them, something like Facebook, you know, sometimes you have 80,000, 100,000 people. How do you make them remain? Like I keep saying, one news will bring you to the top, but many news will keep you at the top. So that is what it happens. So from this case, you could see, okay, how many people do I want to reach? How do I need to keep them active? What do I need to make them active? What do they like? What kind of information do they like? For instance, you can say you have a crowd who believes in prayers, and then you are going to advertise your machine in that place. It will not sell because they will just want to come here and say amen, and then they go. So they are not ready for anything. So that is not a crowd for, you know, it's not recommended for that kind of business. So this is what happens in personalization. We want to reach direct people, like what we are planning in the university, to reach the students who are actually interested in. And then with the AI, we are telling them, hey, you are going to advertise here. I mean, we know you have interest in our university. Can you come in? When are you taking? When are you accepting? When are you paying your school fees? You know, the steps by step process for AI must be there for them. You know, another one is pragmatic ad buying. You know, how AI can improve targeting and any ad spend. You know, where we are looking at conversion rate, very important. Still in the academic sector, we look at because it's not the 16,000 or 15,000 that apply. 15,000 that called, you know, how many were you able to convert into the school? So looking at that, we're like, okay, they're able to convert 600. That was very poor. Our goal is to convert as many as possible. So it's not just advertising, but also a whole lot of people coming to your website. How many have you been able to retain? So in the academic sector, we are like, okay, we've advertised, people have come in, they've clicked the website, they've asked the question, we have our recruitment specialists speak to them one-on-one. Have we been able to convert them? The 15,000, convert them. How many have we been able to convert? So if we're able to convert 50%, that's a good news. But if we have been able to convert less than 2%, then that's bad news. The same way it is in business. How many have you been able to convert? So that conversion rate is very important in our targeting. It's not just how we target, but how many are we able to convert? So now, but the problem in AI, especially in marketing, comes to data privacy. In the United Nations meeting last 3 or 4 weeks ago, UN said they are taking over in terms of privacy, developing a whole lot of things. EU is already on that because I could have your information. What happens to my security? What happens to that? Even in ChatGPT, some companies say don't use ChatGPT. But people like us who use it, we also know that you can also have your own ChatGPT, that is not just a public. But the fact is, whoever owns that ChatGPT still has your data. The same way they will tell you, WhatsApp is end-to-end secured, encryption. But the truth is, it's still open to somebody. Somebody can still penetrate those data, especially the law enforcement. That's how you know that whatever you are doing is not actually secure. Somebody told me, oh, Celeste, nothing is secure, so I won't be online. I say, if you are not online, someone will put you online. So you better be online and let them know that this is your own primary page. If not, somebody will put you without you even knowing, without even taking permission from you to do that. So data privacy is an issue. A security concern, very big issue, that everybody is now developing to see how it will work. And like I said, some people don't like AI. Oh, it's going to take my job. I have said it. AI will take the job of those who don't know AI. So that bias is there. Algorithmic transparency is also there. People are like, okay, this algorithm, machine learning, we have used a whole lot of algorithm, and it's been taught, it's been what we call supervised learning. People see it, every time, it's like program. Supervised learning to me is like more like being directed by a whole algorithm controlled by man. So people like us work in such area where we use unsupervised learning to dictate what we are doing. So these are the areas, common challenges. Integration with existing system, this is a big one. A big one. Now, I worked on a research where you can dictate where electricity goes off, and you can program it into it. But that means putting those equipment, especially machines, in terms of mechatronics, putting those machines, putting sensors to them, IoT, Internet of Things. Or like when I did a research that has to do with looking at the pipeline in Niger Delta and trying to put sensors. The pipeline are already there. So how do you revive them? How do you convert those equipment already existing, and then put things where you can monitor? You can monitor them, use a cloud, you can use the satellite, and you can also allow them to communicate to themselves, because most of the equipment we have needs to be updated. That is the truth. That is the truth. So these are areas where integration comes. And that's why you see most of the companies, especially that makes them takes a whole lot of, because it requires a whole lot of investment. It has a lot of investment as we go on. Now, another area is the skill gap. Good enough we're having a course like innovation. But like I said, if the academic sector does not move with the way SMEs are moving, it will be so parallel. There will not be a collaboration. There will be problem. Because if the SMEs and companies are moving at a faster rate than the academic sector, they're still moving in the analog section, I always say. They are not moving in terms of that digital AI speed. What happened is that we will still be having graduates who don't know their left from their right, who cannot function in those industries or as SMEs. So this is where the academic needs to lead the way. They need to change the curriculum of what they are. I've said it even in NUC. I told them, I said, the curriculum needs to be changed. You need to bring in AI, because AI is in every field. He has to come into bachelor level until it comes, because now they're like, okay, we can do it in master. Do we have it in bachelor? Once you have it in bachelor, that means you have it down, getting closer to the people. We need to have it even in the primary schools, even in primary school. So that is what is going on in most of the places where curriculum are being changed to meet up with the gap of where, because the speed of which AI is coming is so fast. And if we don't move with that speed, we'll be isolated in history. And that is another area. Strategies of successful AI implementation, roadmap, assess marketing needs and opportunities for AI. We need to choose the right AI tools. You need to train the teams in AI-powered marketing. Update your colleagues, update your company people, update your staff, update them. Somebody say, if I give them all this training, or like the one we're having with WTO, if we give them all this training and suddenly they leave, I say, but they're still working here. And as part of that, still working with you, they need to be updated. Then make a deal with them. If they're going to be there 2 years, okay, you won't give them any letter of going out until they work for another 5 years. So that is that kind of thing. And continuous monitoring and optimization of AI system, very important. Like I said, the speed is so fast. The speed is so fast that we need to get along with what is happening before any other thing. Like I mentioned, ethical consideration in AI marketing, very important. You don't use anybody's data without the person's permission. So we need transparency in AI algorithm. We need data privacy compliance, very important. We need to avoid AI bias in customer interaction. We need to be sure that whatever we are developing will be free, to interact with our customers. And then we build trust with consumers using AI. We need to be sure that consumers, when they interact with our chatbots, they know they'll get all the information they need, not half-baked information. They'll get all the information they need. Now, we're looking at a whole lot in the future. Powered voice search, conversational marketing. You can imagine that area. Integration of AI with augmented reality, computer vision, for immersive experiences. This is big one. I'm having a room. I'm trying to work on AR and VR soon. Then AI-driven hyper-personalization and emotional AI. I can chat by looking at your emotion. You see, that is the future. And then AI role in sustainability and consumer behavior. So quite a whole lot that we are thinking about. How do we sustain it? It's not just creating it. It's not just partaking in it. It's how do we make it sustainable? So look at the takeaways I've just been talking since. AI as transformative role in marketing. We need it. Massive. Every SME, every company needs it. We need, because it's in everything. It can make the job easier and increase your productivity. It will also be cost effective. Now, staying ahead of trends and continuous learning, very important. We need this. We need to make strategies for effective AI implementation, and then for marketing excellence and lasting impact. This is very massive. So thank you very much. I hope I'm not taking too much time.
Oh, well. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for that presentation. That was very, very illuminating. And yes, I want to trust that our participants have gained so much from your presentation. You spoke at length on different issues. You started from the scratch, addressed the matter right from the foundational pillars, and spoke about the benefits, emerging trends, the future of AI, and even the challenges that are being encountered as we speak, as AI adoption is increasing globally. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for that presentation. That was very, very illuminating. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and participants, that was our keynote speaker, the head Center for Intelligence of Things at the University of Bolton, Dr. Celestine Wendy. Please give him a digital round of applause wherever you are. So we will launch a poll right now, and please do well to participate in that poll. So let's launch that poll right now, and there's some questions on that poll. So please provide answers to those questions, and we'll see how we move forward from there. So once we have that sorted out, we'll move straight to the panel discussion. As I earlier said, our panelists are ready and raring to go. We have 3 panelists who will be adding their voices to the conversation. So yes, the poll is on your screen right now. I can see that, yes, people have started answering the questions. Please ensure that you participate in that poll. There are 4 questions. Have you ever relied on AI for personal or professional tasks? That's the first one. Then the other question. So please ensure that you participate in that poll. That will be able to gauge your experiences regarding the use and adoption of AI in your personal and professional space over time. Thank you very much. Let's have your participation right away. Thank you very much. So once that is out of the way, we'll move straight to the panel discussion. And yes, should you have any questions, please, we have a Q&A box. It's right there on the toolbar. So ensure that you post your questions in that Q&A box. It's right there on the toolbar. So if you have any questions for our panelists, please ensure that you post your questions in the Q&A box. Our panelists will get to answer your questions much later. Someone is asking, where's the poll? It was launched some minutes ago. Okay. Just in case you didn't have the opportunity. All right, it's back up. It's back up. So the poll is back up. So please just participate. We have 15 participants at the moment. So just answer the questions very quickly. So for those of you who are asking about the poll, it's on the screen. It's on the screen. Thank you very much. You can participate right away. Thank you. All right, so that's the poll. If you have any questions, please just introduce yourself and post the questions right there in the Q&A box. We'll move straight to the panel discussion shortly, and we have 3 panelists who will be joining us for this year's edition of the Innovation series. We'll probably give like 2 minutes more for this poll so that we can all participate. All right, so it's still up. So if you've not done that, please do that very quickly so we can make progress. Thank you. Have you ever relied on AI for personal or professional tasks? As the first question. Are you worried that AI might take over jobs? That's the second. Is AI destructive or constructive? And what are your ethical concerns about AI? Very short poll, 4 questions. All right, I see. Okay, so there will be another opportunity much later during the course of the event. So just in case you did not participate the first time, you'd have that opportunity later. We'll move straight to the panel discussion. And yes, our panelists are ready and raring to go. Our first panelist for today is the CEO of Caladium Consulting, Mr. Ayobankole Akintunjoye.
Ayobankole Akintunjoye. Ayobankole is a strategy and transformation professional with 15 years of experience. He has worked with KPMG, PwC, Philips Consulting, and C2G Consulting, providing strategy advice to over 130 companies, governments, and development institutions. Ayobankole is the convener of the Caladium Lagos SME Bootcamp and has supported over 5,000 SMEs through the Caladium Consulting. He holds a certificate in disruptive strategy from Harvard Business School and a master's degree in political science. Ayobankole is a thought leader in strategy, economy, MSMEs, governance, and responsible citizenship. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Ayobankole Akintunjoye.
CEO Caladium Consulting, Mr. Ayobankole Akintunjoye, you're most welcome. Thank you for joining us for this session. Thank you. Our second panelist is the CEO of HerVest, Sholakwe Akinpelu. Sholakwe Akinpelu, our second panelist, CEO of Harvest.
Sholakbe Akikbelu, CEO Harvest. Sholakbe is a Nigerian business leader and gender finance expert, and the CEO and co-founder of Harvest. She serves as the global co-chair of marketing for the Women in Tech Global Movement and is the country manager for Nigeria. A member of the Presidential High-Level Advisory Committee to the President of Nigeria on Women's Economic Empowerment and Gender, Sholakbe is also a sought-after speaker on gender finance topics. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Sholakbe Akinpelu.
Thank you very much. Our second panelist, the CEO of Harvest, Sholakbe Akinpelu. You're most welcome. Thank you. It's an honor to have you join us today. Our third panelist for today is none other than the Community Marketing Manager at Manu, Adeola Adenuga. Community Marketing Manager, Manu, Adeola
Adenuga, Community Marketing Manager, Manu. Adeola is an experienced digital marketing and content enthusiast with a demonstrated history of using the tools of content to effectively represent brands, manage and grow communities, and execute marketing strategies. Adenuga is a creative force in the world of graphic design and brand strategy. Adenuga's expertise cuts across the designs of captivating logos to managing creative projects with precision. His knack for social media content creation and innovative digital marketing solutions set him apart in the industry, leaving a lasting impact with his exceptional work. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Adeola Adenuga.
Thank you very much, Adeola. Thank you for joining us on this panel discussion. So yes, we have a lot lined up for today, and yes, we'd like to dive straight into it. We've listened to the keynote presentation on how to implement AI for marketing excellence and impact. And yes, we'll be moving straight to the panel discussion. I'd like to invite our panelists to add their voices to the conversation. Remember, if you have any questions, please post those questions in the Q&A box. We'll get to your questions shortly. So yes, without further ado, there's so much to learn, so much to talk about, and we'll be moving straight to our panelists as they add their voices to the conversation. So we have three panelists. I'd like to start with the CEO of Caladium Consulting, Ayobankole Akintunjoye. So very quickly, Ayobankole, what are the practical applications of AI in marketing that the industry needs to focus on from your experience? What would you say? What are the practical applications of AI in marketing that the industry needs to focus on? So I'll just give everyone like 2 minutes each to just make your contributions, and I'll just move from one to the other so that we can accommodate everyone as the time passes.
I want to thank our mom, Uncle Olubode, for putting this together over the years and for the good work that they keep doing for setting the pace for excellence. VERDANT ZEAL has been delivering very excellent service over the years, and this is just an awesome platform to discuss trends around marketing. So I think that AI for marketing is not, I don't think that is as new as we like to think that it is. I think that it has only just gotten to a point where it has ramped up, or it has now become big data. So the bigger data is, the more amplified conversations around AI is. I started my career in technology marketing with SAP, and that was about 15 years ago. And as at that time, we were essentially drawing patterns around our customer behavior. Even though it was B2B, we were drawing patterns, and those patterns informed how SAP developed new products. Today, you see there is SAP for engineering. I think SAP is the only ERP company in the world that builds ERP specifically. They build boxes specifically for industries, and that was built on the back of data analytics from their marketing efforts. Today, but those are, of course, more traditional types of data gathering. Now, over the years, as marketing has become digital, it allows you to gather data at the speed of light. So you are able to gather data in millions, in billions, and then you are able to analyze those data and draw insights and intelligence, which is really what artificial intelligence is about. It's about, using machine learning and the likes to draw insights to then inform your marketing activity. So I think that how AI can impact marketing in 2024 and 2025 going forward is, as marketing professionals, we need to spend more time with the data that we have, the behaviors of our target audience, and using that to inform our marketing activity, not just to sit down and think that marketing campaigns, marketing strategies, or marketing efforts is about only our creativity. Gone are the days when creativity was enough, or ideas or strategy was enough. Now it is about data as input, creativity as the process for extracting that data and converting it into marketing strategy. I'll leave it here so that my other colleagues can speak, and then I'll be back to add more. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ayobankole. Thank you for sharing your insights. Very quickly, I would like to move on to our next panelist. This time I'll be segueing to ask Sholape a question. So according to a news report that was published by Business Day earlier this month, the global financial AI market is projected to surge to over $900 billion in the year 2026. So please give us an overview of the general application of AI in the financial sector. I mean, that is your space. You've carved a niche for yourself in that space, increasing women's access to financial services and products. So, Sholape, you have the floor. An overview of the general application of AI in the financial sector.
Thank you so much, Temiloluwa. Could you kindly confirm, Claire?
Yes,
can you hear me
yes,
loud?
we can hear you. Yes.
Thank you. Awesome. All right. Yeah, and it's a pleasure being here with my co-panelists, particularly my dear friend Ayobankole Akikujoye, and being an attendee and an observer of Innovation series for about how many years now? It's a pleasure being here. Thank you so much for having us, to the entire VERDANT ZEAL team, particularly Dr. Tunji Elubodi. Yeah, speaking about AI and how it's going to affect industries, particularly in the financial sector, generally speaking, firstly, when people talk about how AI might likely take jobs or get people out of roles, the political answer we always offer to that is that no, it isn't going to. But if you ask me, like, okay, what's the truth to that? The truth is that roles will change if industries don't change and if people do not upskill. And in plain English, it might actually take, get people out of roles. So narrowing down to, the financial sector. In the past, for instance, when, people wanted to access credit, starting with credit, that's a process that averagely takes, depending on who you are and who you know, in some cases, that's not the process that averagely takes maybe from 3 months to 6 months. Yeah. Because then they have to look at your financial history, come physically to your office, do a lot of background checks, and these are all necessary things. But today we have AI-enabled systems that simplify all of this just at a click. At Harvest, for instance, when we need to grant loans now, by plugged in APIs that we have, if you submit and say, okay, I need a loan or I need access to credit in less than 1 minute, okay, let me not exaggerate, in less than 2 minutes or so, we can assess and tell you if you can get that access or not, just by checking
Adiola.
Am I
Yes,
back?
yeah, you're
Yes.
Oh,
back.
okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, we can
So
hear
let's
you.
hear into internet technology. Okay, so just quickly saying, so it has simplified things like credit scoring. It has simplified because we understand that financial services, it's a market of trust. Trust is essential, and that's why customer experience determines the success of any financial institution. So that has also helped, bettering our customer experiences at the speed of light. What I had done is that our keynote speaker, Dr. Celestine, mentioned, in the past, you have a full flow of human beings, where some are attending to inquiries from these days, with technologies like intercom, and a lot of them out there, you can simply tend to customer queries and challenges, at light speed. So I'll just stop there too. There are many ways that it's helping in simplifying and bettering our services in the financial industries, e.g. in credit scoring and in bettering customer experiences. And there are more to discuss. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Sholakwe. Thank you very much for those insights. Adiola, I'd like to ask you to share with us your thoughts on how critical the adoption of ethical AI practices in marketing strategies is. What are your thoughts on how critical the adoption of ethical AI practices in marketing strategies is?
All right, thank you very much, Temiloluwa. First, let me start by saying I'm happy to be here. Thanks to Dr. Tunji and the entire VERDANT ZEAL group for the great work that we're doing. And Dr. Celestine, that was an awesome presentation. Thank you so much. To quickly go into the question that I've been asked. Now, so the fact that it is AI means that we need to be careful, because the world as it is today is the way it's structured. Privacy and data privacy, it's a very key thing, right? People are particular about how their data is being used, because their data is always being gathered, right? So long as you're online, your data is being, as a matter of fact, it's still a conversation that people are still having as to whether their phone listens to them or not. And it's something I'm not going to verify on this in this meeting. However, you know how strange it can be that you were just talking about, for example, a wedding ring with a friend, and then the next thing is you're online, and then suddenly you are seeing wedding dresses and you're seeing all those things, right? It begs the question to how your data is being used. Now, a lot of us also who get to use AI tools. So when was the last time, for example, that you downloaded an app and you actually took your time to read through, the terms and conditions and all those things that they tell? Most of you just accept and you move on, right? Many times what happens is that you give them access to use your data in ways that you don't even know you are doing that. Now, when it comes to us, as in the marketing space, and then you want to, it begs the question, however, that you need to be careful about how you use people's data, right? First, if you are gathering people's data, it needs to be given willingly, right? So you don't put yourself in a space where you are, for example, buying the data of people from third parties, right? So make sure that you're gathering it, right? You have consent. You have people give you consent, so they put in their name, they put in their email, if you're going to be sending, targeted newsletters and whatnot, you are putting it in there. They have to tick that box to say, you know what, yes, you can. And you give them the ability to be able to opt out of all these things, right? Yeah, so it then puts you in that space where, because you don't want to be positioned as a brand that people have to start to mark as spam, right? Or to say that you don't want to set yourself up for lawsuits, right? Because it can go that deep, right? You can be sued as a brand to say you used my data. For example, It's as simple as, for example, you're at an event and then you're capturing the videos and whatnot of people that are maybe maybe they come to your exhibition booth or something. And if somebody says, I don't give you consent to post that thing on social media, and you go ahead to do that, that's a lawsuit that is brewing. And so when it also comes to, the data of your customers now, fine, they have given you that data. However, that data you're only supposed to be able to use, to do personalized marketing, to be able to give them and solve their problems, not to add to their problems, right? You don't, because you have their data, then begin to misuse it, all right, and just make it a mess and make them have to, opt out. It can mess up the customer journey and the customer experience for people. And so I think that we need to, when it comes to being ethical, you need to be careful to be sure that you're not biased, right? Because AI, right, does have the ability to be biased because AI is whatever you feed it. Like Dr. Celestine had mentioned. So if you put it into your AI to a couple of times, that a black man this, a black man that, it then makes the assumption after a while that, black people are whatever it is that you are saying it is. So you need to be fair. You need to be sure that you tick your privacy boxes. That's very important in the world of today. Thank you very much.
All right. I mean, sometimes those terms and conditions might be like, a 1,000 pages long, and you won't have to scroll down to the end to read everything. So yes, that's a practical experience. I can definitely relate to that. Okay, so very quickly, let's try to see how we can breeze through the conversation. Ayo Bankole, what are your thoughts on this? How AI is reshaping global marketing strategies? So yes, how is AI reshaping global marketing strategies? What are the trends that you think that we need to see or we will see in the next 10 years? What's the futuristic outlook like? How is AI reshaping global marketing strategies, and what's the futuristic outlook like?
So I think that, Deola in his submission touched on a few of these things. But what I think that would be the most prominent trend going into the future will be increase, if I can call it almost type of witchcraft marketing, where it's so personal that big data is going to be able to predict when you wake up, when you go to bed, where your son schools, what you need in terms of transporting your son from point A to point B, and target you for marketing, right? And you see, when we discuss AI, I think that those of us in Africa, we don't know, we undermine the extent to which AI has gone, at this current stage. So a lot of times when we gather to have these conversations and we're talking about future trends, in the real sense, a lot of times when we mention future trends, those future trends are actually in the present, in the Western world, right? You see, when you say that, oh, I speak and I see it on social media, that's just first level personalization. Now, it will get to a point where your house is going to be so digital, your TV, your fridge, your refrigerator, your chairs are going to have internet enabled. There are fully digital houses. My uncle has a fully digital house in Magodo. And because of the interconnectivity of all of these things, big data, big tech guys are able to gather information about the internal workings of that house to target exactly the type of things that you need for some of the most personal. As a matter of fact, the type of clothing that you wear, the type of shopping decisions that you want to make next, and then they target you for that. I think that that's where we're going to be going into the future. Because AI is about prediction. So I am able to predict what you do based on the inputs that you feed me. And the more we embed technology into our decisions and activities, the more the future is going to be more predictive. And that prediction is going to get as personal as it can get, the more that we are able to use technology, right? Now, unfortunately, because we are still battling with a lot of basic infrastructure in Africa, we may continue to be behind in terms of the speed of adopting to some of these technology trends, but we're going to get there. I think that personalization is the biggest trend of AI evolution that's going to happen in the future, in the nearest future. And the earlier that we begin to get used to not accepting, I think that if people don't even take away anything from my submission today, I think it's important. What we said as a joke is very crucial, that when you accept things on the internet, you take your time to accept only essential things. You know, it doesn't take more than 5 seconds or 10, 15 seconds to check that you are not just accepting all and moving on. Because whilst there are upsides to data gathering and AI, there are also downsides to it, right? Things crawl on the internet, unnecessary information, data sets, and all of that, you know, gets into the hands of wrong people. You also don't want to constantly have your interface, your workspace gets barraged by all sort of things, right? So it's important that you also improve on your patience, your ability to be more technologically literate, so that when you see certain information, certain requests for consent, you know what you are granting, you are aware of what you are granting, and you don't grant today, then tomorrow you're on Twitter complaining that, oh, yesterday I only found out about something, next thing I'm seeing this. It makes you look like an illiterate in this digital world, because you literally just gave your consent yesterday. Number two, and this is for business owners specifically, because I mean, I'm an SME person. I think that business owners need to begin to take a stock of who are your target customers, what are their behavioral patterns, what are their interests, what social media. If you know a few of your customers, for example, you can bucket them into different categories, check what they follow, what are their interests, so that you can also begin to leverage, you can begin to build your own intelligent database that will then help you predict how best to serve your customers. You can't be selling on Instagram, for example. Most of your customer people, for example, you are selling. I was talking to a vendor a few days ago. I wanted to buy a pair of shoes for my son, and my son's shoe size is, you know, it can be very funny. And the lady was like, "There's no exchange. She didn't even let me finish my inquiry. No exchange, no refund, no this, no that." And I'm like, but you're selling to kids. I mean, even the world's biggest stores, they take exchanges when it comes to kids, right? If it's within a few hours. And a few more weeks later, I met this lady at an event. I didn't know that she was the one. And she was then complaining to me that sales has dropped, blah, blah, blah. Then we exchanged contact, and I saw her Instagram, and I like, oh, you are the one. I mean, it doesn't require witchcraft to know that you are going to suffer if you don't take your time to study, what am I selling? What are the likely requirements of my customers? What are their behavioral patterns? How can that help me predict how to serve my customers? This is no longer 1990, where you begin to do things. Now, artificial intelligence is not just about technology. It's about data. It's about mining that data and making decisions on that data to personalize it. That personalization is going to be the future biggest impact of AI, and all of us need to start utilizing it, the earlier the better. Thank you.
All right, personalization. Very, very interesting perspective there. So yes, when you're surfing the internet, just ensure where you have to give permissions when you're looking at what the cookies are requesting. Please ensure that you read. That's a very, very interesting example there. Okay, so we'll ask Sholakwe this other question. Sholakwe, you've found a niche for yourself in the financial services market, and yes. Okay. Adiola, we'll switch to Adiola.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure.
We can. I thought
I'm here.
I thought I didn't see you at that time. All right. So very quickly, so you found a niche for yourself in the financial services market, and I'm asking now, how can AI be used to deliver better financial solutions for women. That is the space in which you operate. So what has been your experience in delivering financial services and products to women? So how can AI be used to improve that experience?
Yes, in addition to what I've mentioned before, that is quick credit scoring and reducing wait times when it comes to customer experience and ensuring that they have each experiences with their monies as they rightly should. Another one is particularly because we deal with the urban woman and also the last mile woman, that is a woman in a rural community in Kuru, Jos, in Plateau State, for instance, who does not even understand AI, who obviously lacks equitable access to finance. But again, it's a fundamental right? Access to finance, affordable finance, inclusive finance, at the right time and at the right amount. What we've done or adopted over time is, because again, what does AI do? It automates, in most cases, routine tasks, routine actions. So because most of the women we deal with, particularly in the rural areas, which we know is agrarian, is linking them to better agronomic practices, linking them to the fund, to go back to farm and do it better after they've learned how to do better, and then linking them to quality markets, where they can get the most out of their labor and out of their sweat. So imagine us going into communities, right, and talking to women in groups of 200, 100, from Jos to Borno and all of that. Of course, if you continue that way, 10 years, we haven't even covered a quarter, of the nation. And so what we did was to explore alternative, data sources that's familiar with these women, particularly USSD, where these women can simply, dial from their internet-enabled devices, and, request for all of these things. Of course, it takes a lot of learning to put all of that together. So when I say learning, that is an AI language, machine learning, to put all of this together and understand, what the women will require, depending on their locations. Another one we've observed is, fraud detection. Without being, but being honest here, we've realized that more women, right, are more susceptible to fraud, particularly, frauds that are around social engineering. My mother-in-law, most of the female around me who are not particularly, internet savvy, at one time or the other had issues with, fraud. And it's largely, social engineering. So what we do also is, to build our systems in a way. So that what that means is that if other financial institutions are spending 50% of resources and time, on limiting frauds in their systems, we have to double that, because, again, we are targeting women specifically to ensure that our users, our clients, as my co-panelists have said, their data is safeguarded, and even from the back end, we subject our systems to enough vulnerability tests, per time. And AI has also simplified, this for us. So for vulnerability tests, for instance, that will take, typically weeks, with simple lines of codes, we can simply run all of this per time, can simply run all of this in less than 24 hours, ensuring that we build stronger systems, for our users, and we also build a responsible organization as well. So you'd see that AI is enabling reach, it's strengthening systems, and it's also enriching experiences in the financial services.
Thank you very much for that contribution. Adiola, I have another question for you. From your experience working at Mano, what are the factors to be considered in implementing AI in e-commerce? What approach would you consider as being the most practical?
Thank you. So from my experience, and I'm just going to take that and then speak to e-commerce as a blanket, and then which then also leads to other marketing segments. What we have realized is that data is king, and what you do with that data, or what you can do with that data, is practically limitless, right? It can inform how you target your customers, what time of day, right? And it all starts with, first building that customer persona, which is why I said data is king. And so from the data that, the customers themselves give you, down to, their shopping behavior. So you look at, from data, you can see the history, you can see that, for example, let me make it as practical as possible. So a customer makes a purchase, and it purchases, for example, let's say beard oil, right? You can see that is male. You can then automatically begin to push certain products to that customer. Products like body spray, other grooming items for male. Or for example, let's say somebody comes onto the platform and then orders diapers, right? You can automatically already tell that, okay, so this person has a kid, right? And then start to push, or should I say market other items. So what other items will this person need, right? You'll need baby food, right? This person probably, is also going to need groceries at the home. And, because of our unique offering, which is because what we sell is convenience, right? And so we begin to look at what problems will this person possibly have that we have solutions to, and we can push to that person at that time. You also look at, because again, the kind of people that fall within our target audience. And so it also informs where and how you target them, right? So if you're going to do out of home, right, what kind of areas do these people typically visit? Around what time do they typically visit these areas, right? Even if you're, and then if you're targeting them online, or should I say, for example, someone who has made a purchase on the app before, and then you can then begin to do retargeting, right? So begin to target that person on other multiple channels, just to aid brand recall and which eventually all these things lead and help to drive sale. It helps to keep your brand at top of mind for these customers, and then convert them into loyalists of your brand, right? So all this, I think that the solution is or should I say the solutions that AI has for the e-commerce space, and then for every business, is limitless. It just boils down to so you as a business, what AI needs do you think that what AI needs do you have, right? What problems do you have? What AI tools are available to help solve that problem? Because there's an AI tool for everything right now. There is an AI tool for everything.
All right. Thank you very much, Adela. Thank you for that informative contribution. Ayo Bankole, I have another question for you. How do you integrate AI with the existing tech stacks in marketing? There's a lot of talk about the adaptation of AI models to the diverse cultural landscape in Nigeria and even Africa. So very quick question, how do you integrate AI with the existing tech stacks in marketing? Hi, Bankole.
Can you hear me?
All right. Please? Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I mean that sounds very techy. I mean, but I will try. Sounds like something that you ask a programmer. But it's okay. So when you say that, when you talk about integrating AI with existing tech stacks, that's a bit of a tricky question because the evolution of AI, or if I can say the essence of AI, is that you can integrate it with tech stacks. In fact, the whole idea of AI is that the process of data gathering is integrated to different tech stacks. So if not integrate your data collection for your database, whatever your social is built up, can't use data, right? Now, what types of tech stacks exist? The professionals like Sholakwe, my friend, who are the techs to talk about. But data collection process that is not tech enabled, then it may be difficult for you to utilize AI because the essence of AI is that you are able to collect data, different data points about your customers, be it payments, behavior, how do they like to pay, what type of product do they buy the most, what seasons do they buy, what products, what is their behavior on returns, complaints, age demographics, even location and all of that. And all of that collection process connects to your core application, right? Whatever that core application is, and interpret that to then give you information on the new solution that you are, or the improvements that you are making to your solution. That really is what AI is about. So the technical how to do all of this linkage, again, is beyond my core expertise. Maybe if my co-founders were here, they can speak to that. But that learning is what I think is the key takeaway. Understanding that linkage, the complex intersection between connecting your data process to your actual working process and to your marketing decisions. I think that's where the crux of the conversations around artificial intelligence really is. And if your business as of today is still very manual in terms of your data collection, for example, if you're in construction, I see somebody who said they're in construction. It's B2B, but there's data. You need to understand if you have 40 projects in a year, for example, and you have 100 bids, out of that 100 bids, you succeed in 40. Who did I lose these bids to? Why did I lose it to them? Is it because of pricing? Is it because of my profile? Is it because of the brand? What separates my brand from those who are winning? For the ones that I won, is there a pattern to the ones that I win? How am I delivering the projects? What's the satisfaction of my customers? And then you interpret all of this data, mine it, so that next year your marketing decisions, your bidding process is improved. You are not just doing the same thing every year. Otherwise, you will not have adopted the essence is that you are more intelligent. Your business is more intelligent, but not because of your own human intelligence, but based on the artificial nature of how you are able to mine the data that you get from that business. So what just separates you as a B2B business or as a traditional business from a tech-enabled who have tech stacks and all these things business is that they have technology that collects, that automates that data collection process. Now, in your own case, you also have to start thinking about how to automate this. The more automated you are, the easier it is for you to utilize AI. So AI cannot help you if you are still very manual, right? But again, depends on your business. You need to first understand the principle, then begin to look at how to adopt the technology. And then based on whatever tech stack you use, you can then go and sort it out with your technical team on how to link your data points and all of that to interpret the data and arrive at marketing decisions. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. So yes, from the point of data collection to data sorting and filtering, there must be that smooth interconnectivity with the technical implementation and sorting. Thank you very much for those contributions. Thank you very much, Ayo Bankole. We moved you a little bit out of your comfort zone and threw you into hot water, if you please. But that was great. That was great. That was great. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to your response. So I'll move to Sholakwe. We're on the home stretch, so we're just trying to make the best use of the time that we have. So Sholakwe, in terms of upskilling the workforce, what are the core components of the skill set that you think that employees need to possess in terms of upskilling the workforce? What are the core components of the skill set that employees should have?
Well, a lot of them, but three come to mind. And the first one will be creativity. Unfortunately, we'd all have to be creative. Otherwise, that job threat that we complain about might just be knocking. As we've all observed from the keynote speech to the brilliant submissions by my, co-panelists, AI is a tool, right? It's garbage in, garbage out. So if you do not feed it the right information, I'll give an instance. For instance, there's this chat AI called Pi. It was on WhatsApp for the longest. Unfortunately, they've gone down now. Or well, I think they're inactive at the moment. And each time I asked Pi, even when the current president of Nigeria had been sworn in, each time I asked Pi, who is the president of Nigeria, Pi tells me it's past president Muhammad Buhari, right? So so those are the challenges and issues. That means that it's not updated. And I kept, experimenting with that information. So I would go after a week and ask again, and then he would give me the answer, and then I'll correct to say, no, this is it. This person won the elections. And you say, oh, my bad, I'm sorry. And then there was, I think the fourth time I went there, and then I asked again, and he said, oh, you think I'm going to say it's President Buhari? It is actually, president. So that is it. It's fun. It's intelligence having fun. So what that means is that as system owners, we've got creativity is one thing we have to really, really upskill on, because trust me, almost all the automated routine tasks that we do, AI can simplify and do them now. Most airports, international airports now, do not have people looking manually at your passport data page and all of that. You just go on and scan, and then you go through the gates, right? So those are, so we basically have to, upskill on creativity. The second one I'll say is emotional intelligence, particularly in emerging markets, like ours. Because largely when we look at, you had mentioned, you asked Ayo about, integrating into existing or integrating into AI. Most, existing silo artificial intelligence systems were built in the West. And so what that means is that for markets like ours, they are not really aware. And we are Africans. There are so many nuances. There are so many, unscripted things about us as a people, our culture, our systems, and all of that. And so you realize that if you do not have, that emotional intelligence, you might not be able to fit whatever solutions you are driving with AI into our systems. So emotional intelligence is also critical. So yes, creativity, emotional intelligence, and then I'll just say critical problem solving, right? To be able to look at a problem, very long, sit in it, long enough, and then offer solutions. If you're able to do that, you still become very valuable, and then you can use AI to, your strength. I think those three skills, that is critical problem solving, emotional intelligence, right, and creativity are really, really essential, for the next system, effective systems we want to run. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Sholakwe. Thank you. Thank you for your contributions. Adeola, I'll move on to you. Sometimes participants in sessions like this are only better able to appreciate the lesson behind innovative ideas like AI when they relate to real-world examples. Can you give us real-world examples of brands that have successfully implemented AI in their marketing strategies?
Okay, so there is an example that has been overflogged on this session, and that is Netflix, probably because everybody uses Netflix, right? And so what they do is, so they take data from the kind of movies that you've seen in the past, right? If, for example, you ended up rating some of those movies, they know that, oh, so this is something you like, right? And then they take that and then they begin to suggest, right, those kind of movies, like movies that come out in that genre, or maybe have the same actors or something inside, and then they begin to push that to you. Spotify also does that. There is if you've ever heard of Sephora, so what Sephora does is it's an online tool that allows you to it allows customers to try on makeup virtually, right? So for example, and this is something that is key to women, because you want to be sure that the color, the tone matches your skin tone and all that. And then it allows you to be able to without actually having to buy the product and then take it home and then return, right? Because I mean, how do you return what you've already started using when it comes to makeup? So what that does for the company is it not only saves time, it saves resources, right? It saves unnecessary issues of customers having to say, you know what, this is not useful for me. This is not what I thought it was going to be, and what. So right there, and then you can try it out and see what it's going to look like, right? I also had I had a couple of friends who were working on a solution where you can virtually try certain clothes on and see what it would look like on your body fit. All you needed to do was just upload a picture of yourself, and then it would just transpose that particular maybe shirt or something to you, and then you can see if it would fit you or not. All these things, and when it comes, so also bring it down to when you go to like Amazon, for example, if you even come to where I work, Mano, and like I said, you've shopped for something before. What we've been able to do is to use AI to begin to push complementary products or similar, So if you've bought something, maybe like alcohol, right? We can push a mixer to you, because most likely the likelihood that you would want to mix up your alcohol is very high. So you get to have AI, being reflected in all these very, very little things, right? When you, for example, like a particular content on social media, you get to see more of those kind of content automatically without anything. You just begin to see more of that because it's machine learning, right? It begins to want to predict, your behavior, the kind of things that you're interested in, and I believe that in our day-to-day, in our day-to-day, machine learning is active all the time, right? It's studying our choices, from the time you spend on social media to the time you spend surfing the web. Let's say you visit a lot of, you're a football enthusiast, you check out scores, live scores and whatnot. All these things you are leaving digital footprints all over the space, right? And it's being tracked, right? So for example, if you use an iPhone, right, and you maybe download an app or you open an app, it asks you a question if that app is allowed to track your behavior across other platforms, right? Most of the time, I tell it no, right? But if you do tell it to trust, what it's telling you is that, look, I'm going to be following you. Like even when the app is not open, it's not active, it is in the background working and then watching the way, you know, your behavior. It all helps the brand or the company to build a persona around you and then begin to market things, you know, to you based on that persona that they have built. So I think that this couple of examples, it's not limited. They're quite a lot. Coca-Cola uses it a lot when it comes to their marketing, which is why a lot of their content is very strong, because they build more on emotions, and because emotions sell, right? So they sell the feeling that you get to. They create marketing campaigns around disasters and the likes, and you know, just create something that generates a buzz. So all these things those are the physical representations. However, in the background, there are codes, there's a lot of machine learning that is happening in the background that then brings out those results. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Adela. That just helps us as attendees and participants to know that even if we cannot really see AI in person, there's a lot of work going on in the background, and there are so many brands today who are actually implementing AI. We may not even be aware, but of course, as you've mentioned some of those examples, I'm sure that yes, some of our attendees and participants have gained great knowledge from that contribution. Okay, so it's the final stretch. Do we have any questions? I cannot see any questions in the Q&A box, but yes, I can see 2 questions in the chat box. Okay, this is to Ayoban Koli. You probably should have bought those shoes directly and not online. Okay, your data was not captured. What strategy would you advise that she used to change her approach to customer service and retention? Okay, I think he already addressed that bit while he was talking about it. He already answered that question. There's also another question: what's the best way to use AI in order to increase client traffic in the construction industry? Oh, wow, that's a very interesting, interesting question. What's the best way to use AI in order to increase client traffic in the construction industry? Okay, someone is trying to find out how best to use AI to boost traffic, and the person is now limiting that experience to the construction industry. Do we have any general thoughts? Any takers? Anyone who would like to, speak on that while we wait for any other questions that might come? Any thoughts at all? This is general to all the panelists.
Okay.
There's no one who's
I
in the construction industry anyway, but okay, fine. Yes.
I'm not in the construction
industry,
but I can try. Because I have a friend who, is building a tech system around, managing waste, in the construction industry. And of course, when you run strong and more efficient operations and systems, it's using to, higher, income for you. And of course, signals that you are forward thinking in your industry and would direct more forward thinking users and clients to you as well. So without mentioning names, what I know, I think about 2 of them, what they are building is, for instance, if you need to build, let's say, a full terrace building, right? And you put that into the system, what it does is it breaks down what you would require in terms of, this amount of, iron rods, this amount of, it breaks it down. Because one of the challenges in the construction system, I think particularly in Nigeria, where we still use a lot of brick and mortar as it is wastage and the human errors, and then of course theft, etc. So at the end of the day, you are building a 3-bedroom flat, and then you've expended the costs of maybe 2 units of that due to all of that. But these people that I've mentioned, for instance, are building technology systems that help you weigh the right amount of what you need per time. And I believe, so, and that's the essential parts of what's it called now? Building systems that are, as they say, interoperable. I want to believe that if you already have a core system that does that, it is easier to build additional systems that, have all the stakeholders around it. For instance, you are logging in this, you're logging in that, and even have, users experience. And so this is the question. I hope I'm answering the question right at this point. Have users, for instance, if I'm your client, what can I have a code, right? Can I have a login access where I can view all that is happening around my project, where I can log in comments real time, where I can, just be a part of it and see how transparent the entire system is. Of course, with that, I'll be more inclined, to stick to you and even refer your services to other people. So in a way, if that is not existing in the market, I always say that, particularly as Nigerians and Africans, your solution is you can build it, right? You can build it and then, start whitelisting that to other people in your sector. I'm talking about the customer experience, part where clients can be part, of the process. But do systems that help, manage waste and all of that, do they exist at the moment? Yes, a few of them exist in the Nigerian market.
All right. Thank you very much for the insights. So very quickly, we'll be wrapping this up in the next few minutes. I would just like to give the panelists the opportunity to just sum up their thoughts and perhaps introduce some other perspective that we've not been able to touch because of the time constraint. So in 60 seconds, we'll just move around. Let me start with Adiola. So Adiola, you have 60 seconds, just final thoughts, perhaps any matters we've not addressed or whatever you think that the attendees should be aware of, how they can implement AI tools and integrate those AI tools into their marketing effort. So just 60 seconds. So we wrap this up.
Right, thank you very much. So in 60 seconds, I'm just going to say that when Dr. Celestine was speaking, he was talking about how he didn't want to have to pay for particular AI tool, and then because he has the expertise, right, he then had to go and build. Shalakwe also just mentioned, how that we are solutionists. What I wanted to say is that not everybody, right, can build an AI tool. However, you have an idea, you can find the right partners, right? Life is all about collaboration. Find the right partners who have the technical know-how and can see that vision from just an idea in your head, because there are a billion ideas out there, and then convert it into a product that is valuable to people. And then, so that's one. The other thing I wanted to say is that AI is for everybody. I looked at the results of the poll that was run, and I realized that, we still had a couple of people who were still like a bit skeptical about the usage of AI and whatnot. AI is for everybody. The way the world is going, it is going to be an integral part of everybody's life, because nobody has time anymore, right? You need to be able to optimize your processes, optimize your time, optimize everything around you, right? For example, you're driving, you definitely want to check Google Map to avoid spending like 3 extra or 2 extra hours in traffic when you could have just found an alternative route. So that is how mundane it is. So the earlier we begin to embrace the use of AI, right? Because like Dr. Celestine also said, where this thing is going is way beyond all this. The world is going virtual reality, and there's going to be that handshake between AI and then virtual reality very soon. That technology probably already exists. It's not just a thing yet here. And when we get to that point, you're going to need to be able to be very used to using AI tools, right? So that you don't get swept aside, because like Shalakwe also said, AI is coming after some jobs, a lot of jobs. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much for your submissions. Ayoban, Colin, let me move over to you. Your final thoughts, concluding thoughts on this as we wrap up this panel session.
My final thoughts are very brief and very straight to the point. Adopting AI technology or any trend or innovation is hard work. It's not just sitting down and doing things in the conventional manner. It's not just listening to speakers, wear fancy suits and attending a lot of events. You have to roll your sleeves and do the hard work of using technology, learning how to adapt technology. Imagine if people were still living in the old days imagine if you want to hire a PA now or an executive assistant, and that executive assistant still relies on our clever files and dusty libraries to give you information. Of course, you want to hire somebody who can use Google, who can use ChatGPT and the likes, because those are now the new baseline of information. And then the person improves on it. So you yourself have to learn all of these things. You need to sit down and understand your customers. You need to sit down and improve on your processes and use the information that you have to better your own business and your own career and your own work. And, that's the ultimate win, because it's not just learning the information and then moving on the next day into doing things the way you've always done them. I wish everybody the best. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much, Ayoban Kwale, for your insights. Thank you very much. Very, very insightful contribution right there. Sholakwe, your concluding thoughts, please.
Oh, well, quickly, two of them, and I'll be very as brief as I can. The first is we have to be very aware and be on the lookout. We've mentioned that of the other side of AI. What AI had done is that it's enabling solutions, also enabling more problems, particularly cybercrime and fraud. Like I say, the dark side of the internet, they run shifts. We probably work maybe 8 to 12 hours a day. They work 24 hours a day. So we've got to be really, really careful, particularly with, things like phishing, ransomware, denial of service, so many things where they can take over systems. And we've seen how it's been even in financial services. The second one, particularly because I'm assuming that we have, an audience of a lot of marketeers. As marketeers, starting with myself now, yes, I'm still a proud marketeer. We have a leading angle, and that is because of the diversity of, marketing for diverse products, and brands. Today it's a yogurt brand, the next day it's maybe a man's political ambition, the following day it's a public sector, so what that does is that it expands our knowledge and it expands our scope around human needs, on a very large scale. And that's what AI drives on. That's what AI thrives on. So let's always look at the AI angle in all of this. We're not saying that we should build from the scratch. We're not saying that we should totally reinvent systems, but how can we help, our clients or even our own businesses get better, by interacting and driving more on AI. We can do that by learning more, joining conversations like this. Thank you again to, VERDANT ZEAL for putting this together, and also going on to act, upon that we have learned, as my co-panelists have said. It's not enough hearing and learning all of this. The question is, what are we going to do with all this learning? Thank you so much for staying with us.
Thank you very much, Sholakwe. Thank you very much for that fitting wrap up, really, of your thoughts, fitting summation of your thoughts. Thank you very much for your insights and your contribution. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants, we've addressed the subject matter of implementing AI for marketing excellence and impact. And yes, we've had the opportunity to listen to our panelists speak on various matters and from different perspectives. So yes, you heard it, AI adoption requires a lot of hard work. Technology is not static. It's very, very dynamic. It is changing rapidly every day. And it's very important that we are able to keep up the pace as we move with the advancements in technology. It's important to understand that, yes, data insights, data analysis, and predictive models will always be critical success factors as we look at how AI is implemented in marketing. The roles will change. Yes, people would need to upskill. And in the financial space, AI has been used to improve customer experience. Is also being used to ensure that credit scores are delivered rapidly. There's always a lot of data in the back end, and yes, that is processed pretty fast. That also helps to increase the operational efficiency and guide against the incidents of fraud, particularly in the financial services industry. What are the core components of the skill set that employees should have? It's important to have creativity. It's important to have emotional intelligence. It's also important to have critical problem-solving skills. As AI adoption increases, the focus on ethical AI practices cannot be overemphasized. We need to ensure that we use AI in a responsible and ethical manner. We're talking about how we manage and use people's data. So data privacy is a challenge. As much as it is a challenge, we must ensure that our practices adhere to diverse codes, business codes. We have GDPR, we also have NDPR. These are data protection regulation codes. So yes, data privacy is a must. And we must ensure that we use data responsibly as we integrate AI into our marketing strategies. It's also very important to understand that personal vigilance is a factor. This is for end users. When you're surfing the internet, you're browsing the web, please ensure that you are vigilant. Be mindful of what apps you grant permissions to and what permissions you grant to websites and apps and all of that. It's been a very, very interesting session. And yes, I would like to thank and appreciate all the panelists. We also did hear that, yes, collaboration is essential in integrating AI into your marketing strategy. So yes, sometimes you may not have the skills, but you might have skills regarding data collation, collection, sorting, and filtering. It's important to collaborate with those who have those technical skills such that the process of implementing your AI in your marketing strategies will be seamless. Thank you very much for all your contributions. I want to appreciate all the panelists. Thank you very much. CEO Caladium Consulting, Ayo Bankole Akintunjoye. Thank you very much. CEO Harvest, Sholakbe Akinpelu. Thank you very much. And of course, last but definitely not the least, Community Marketing Manager Mano Adeola Adenuga. Thank you very much for your contributions. It has been a most interesting time listening to all these submissions. And yes, I'm sure that having added their voices to the discourse, your experiences have been enriched. Thank you very much once again to all of our panelists. We'll move straight to an Innovention Business Solutions video that will appear on our screens right about now. Thank you.
Every great success starts with an idea, but to thrive, that idea needs more mentorship, opportunities, and the right platform to grow. At Innovation Consulting, we've made it our mission to empower 1 million MSMEs by 2030. And through our Innovation Academy, young entrepreneurial minds in tertiary institutions and technical colleges receive free access to world-class mentorship and training programs. Imagine access to exclusive events, expert-led courses, and a community of like-minded individuals all at your fingertips. And the best part, it's completely free. If you desire to take your business to the next level, the Innovation Hub is where entrepreneurs thrive. Our subscription-based marketplace connects you with grants, funding opportunities, and communities designed to help your business grow. Join communities, gain business tips, and foster sustainable growth by learning from peers and experts in your sector. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a business leader in the making, Innovation Consulting has the tools, mentorship, and networks to help you succeed. Ready to take that next step? Register today for Innovation Academy or explore opportunities with the Innovation Hub. Visit www.innovationseries.org to learn more and join the movement shaping the future of entrepreneurship in Nigeria. Innovation Consulting, empowering your tomorrow today.
Right, so register, make sure that you participate. Thank you very much. Just in case there's been a change in the trends, would like to have that poll come up once more. So if you missed out on the opportunity to participate in that poll, now you have another chance. So let's have that poll come up very quickly so that we can answer the question. So the poll is up right there on the screen. So all our participants, please provide answers to the questions right away. Thank you very much. The poll is up on your screen. Please participate. The poll is up on your screen. It's been launched once again. Please let us all participate. Thank you. And once we're able to do that, we'll move straight to listen to the closing remarks from the CEO of VERDANT ZEAL Group. And yes, that will signal the last stop really, as far as this event is concerned. Have you ever relied on AI for personal or professional tasks? Are you worried that AI might take over jobs? Is AI destructive or constructive? What are your ethical concerns about AI? So yes, the poll is up. Let's have that opportunity very quickly. If you've not participated in the poll, please do so very quickly. The clock is ticking and the opportunity for that is still available as we speak. Okay, so there you have it. Final call for those who want to participate in the poll. Another 30 seconds and we will wrap that up. Thank you. All right, I think that should be good enough. Yes, we have about half of participants who have participated in that poll. All right, thank you very much. So just in case you've not done that, please do that very quickly. The poll will soon end, so now you have that opportunity. Thank you very much. So ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and participants, it has been the Innovation Series 12.0, the 12th edition in the series that began in the year 2012. So yes, every single year back to back, we've had the Innovation Series, and this is the 12th in the series. Okay, every year, the series is held back to back, except for COVID year. I just remembered COVID happened to the entire world back then. Okay, but yes, it's been a most interesting time. So join me to welcome to give the closing remarks, the Chief Operating Officer, VERDANT ZEAL Group, Mr. Dikpo Adeshida. The CEO of VERDANT ZEAL Group, Mr. Dikpo Adeshida, for the closing remarks.
Thank you very much, Temiloluwa, and thank you to everyone. Good afternoon, which is the time in our current location, but good morning to those who may be in that time of day, and good evening to those who may be in that time of day as well. Thank you very much on behalf of the VERDANT ZEAL Group and the convener, Dr. Tunji Olubodi. We'd like to say a big thank you to everyone for joining this session today. As you can tell, this is a big conversation that we're all interested in and involved in. And we all can draw something out of what we have said today and apply to our various industries and practices. So in truth, we are very grateful. A big thanks to Dr. Celestine Wendy for always delivering his very erudite lecture on artificial intelligence, especially the prospects for a country like Nigeria that seems to be labored with a lot of, economic and social issues. Clearly, we see that there are opportunities for growth. Many thanks to our panelists today, Ayo Bankole, Sholakwe Akinpelu, and Adeola Adenuga. Thank you very much for sharing very passionately and robustly on the subject. We'd like to thank our clients, our partners, our staff, our friends, and all of those who have been part of the innovation journey all along for, again, joining us today. Just so that on Monday, we were at Olabisi Onabanjo University to host the Innovation Campus Edition. So we're not just having this one for the marketing industry. We're also going deeper into academia and talking to students, cultivating that space as well, because all of us have a role to play in building this society, building this economy, and building capacity for us all. You'll be hearing from us from time to time on the updates that we're going to be bringing and pulling out of conversations like this. So we implore you to please stay tuned, follow us on our social media platforms, join in the conversation, but most importantly, be an agent of change yourself. Take all the conversations that we've had today and ask yourself, what can I do to improve the work that I currently am involved in? How can I inspire other people to change? Let's not be afraid of innovation and change because it's inevitable, but ask how we can keep on moving the needle, so that we can keep improving and, of course, increase value, increase the quality of life and increase the prospect of our nation. I'd like to thank, in closing, our wonderful Master of Ceremony and Moderator, Temiloluwa Awobi-Ogbon. Thank you very much for always coming through. Thank you for taking this innovation journey with us year in, year out. We truly are grateful. So from all of us at VERDANT ZEAL Group, we'd like to say thank you very much. Thanks for joining, and we look forward to seeing you when next we call. It may be before the next series, so please stay open to any of our updates. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
All right, thank you very much. CEO VERDANT ZEAL Group, Mr. Dikpo Adeshida, for the closing remarks. Yes, the Innovation series remains a veritable platform. Yes, it gives expression to thought leaders from the public and the private sectors. Thank you very much for those words. Be an agent of change. Ensure that you are known for positive action and change in your space. At this point, I'd like to thank our keynote speaker and all of our panelists for sharing from their wealth of personal and professional experience. I'd also like to thank our junior host, the Executive Vice Chairman of the VERDANT ZEAL Group, for ensuring that, yes, this platform is available year in, year out. I'd also like to thank all our distinguished participants, our guests. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing like having an event, whether virtually or physically, and having a very great audience, really. So thank you very much for showing up today. Thank you for participating in this conversation. The conversation does not end. It continues even on social media platforms. Please ensure that you participate as much as possible. Please ensure that you take advantage of the opportunities that will come your way. So ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And most importantly, thank you for your presence and your contributions. I trust that, yes, we've listened to diverse perspectives and the conversation has been enriched, just as your participation has been enriched. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, distinguished participants. On that note, thank you very much and goodbye until we come your way next time. Thank you.
Artificial intelligence, once a concept of distant future, is now at the forefront of modern marketing. It's transforming how brands communicate, strategize, and engage with consumers. But what does it mean to truly implement AI for marketing excellence? It's more than just technology. It's about leveraging data, automation, and machine learning to create impactful, personalized experience that resonates with consumers on a deeper level. At its core, AI empowers marketers to predict consumers' behavior, optimize campaigns in real time, and deliver content that is not only relevant but hyper-targeted. With AI, decisions that once took weeks are now made in seconds. Gone are the days of guesswork. Now, marketers can predict customer behavior, adapt in real time, and create content that speaks directly to individual needs and desire, whether you're shopping, searching, or simply scrolling. Take the rise of chatbots and virtual assistants, for instance. These AI tools provide instant responses, answering customer queries, making recommendations, and even closing sales, day or night. AI also excels in personalizing the customer journey, whether it's tailored ads, individualized email marketing, or curated content. Artificial intelligence ensures that brands speak to each consumer as if they were the only one. However, as AI transforms marketing, it also raises important questions. How do we ensure transparency? How do we protect data? Balancing the benefit of AI with privacy concern is essential to maintaining consumer trust. When done responsibly, AI is more than just a marketing tool. It becomes a bridge between brands and consumers, driving engagement, loyalty, and growth. The potential is limitless. As we continue to push the boundaries of what AI can do, one thing is clear: its impact on marketing excellence is only just beginning. For 12 years, VERDANT ZEAL has been at the forefront of exploring the future of marketing through the Innovation series. Each year, thought leaders and industry experts come together to share knowledge, spark innovation, and drive progress. From digital marketing to creative problem solving, the Innovation series has been the catalyst for real-world solutions that prepare students and professionals for tomorrow's marketing challenges. As we look towards the future, VERDANT ZEAL remains committed to advancing marketing excellence. Through the Innovation series, we continue to push the boundaries, driving the ideas and innovations that will shape the marketing industries for years to come.